but in my interpolation, I guess, is everything that has to do with the earth, and it has to do with getting ourselves prepared, has a lot to do with resurfacing or reemerging from the womb, like a sweat, like a prayer lodge, and it must be all natural. And when you come out of that, you become a new thought, a new creation, a new name, or whatever. But that's about all I know.
And you know, I had this really interesting dream about 6 weeks ago, and it seemed so real. It was an hourglass in the sky. The stars had made an hourglass, and then there was a rip inside this hourglass, and there was this beautiful, beautiful liquid golden, almost like watery light coming from this rip in the sky. And there were a lot of heads around it. There were a lot of people, and we're all just staring up at this thing. And, you know, I kind of saw it as a window into another dimension.
It is.
And occasionally I have these dreams, and this is one of those dreams where it's going to happen, you know, type of dreams.
It is not a dimension beyond sight and sound, as in the Twilight Zone. What you were actually looking at, apparently you've been doing a lot of internalizing and thought processes about the reality of time, the concept of time. And the riff is really your ability to break beyond the time barrier and realize that it's all in the present if we just let go of the blinders that we have. And yes, there are many people working this issue right now, working a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of speaking to remind people that time is as fixed as a proof in science. You know, and think about a proof in science. 500 years ago, it was scientific fact that the Earth was flat. And everything revolved around the Earth, the sun, the solar system, and whatnot. It's amazing how scientific fact changes with time.
Isn't it?
But what I believe you're looking at is your ability to conceptualize beyond the boundaries that we were told exist, which don't. They really don't. You can go back to the past just as easily and change entire events in your life as easily as you can talking to someone on the street today. It all exists multidimensionally.
It's one of the reasons that I do what I do on this program. You just mentioned it. You said, what's today true in science, tomorrow is suddenly untrue.
Yes. And
that's exactly right. And these people with their noses in the air and their PhDs held high,
yes,
a lot of times they're just flat wrong. They're just wrong. And so I'm not going to be afraid to explore all of these other areas, because they can be as wrong as you can or I can or anybody else can be. And science does not seem to be a fixed thing. Only today's proclamation.
Precisely. It's like someone asking you to paint the house art and you just paint a small little spot on it. And to you, if that's all you can see, then you have painted the house.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. What wild card line? You're on the air with Speaking Wind. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Speaking Wind.
Good morning.
I'd like to run this theory behind you on this patience and anger thing. I don't equate patience with inactivity, but in our anger, I think we're blocked from the truth source and the true action that we should take at that moment. And the thing with art saying, yeah, I'd like to strangle that guy's neck, or maybe someone wants to punch someone in the nose, that may be true, but if we would just have this moment, this space between us, if we wouldn't, what I'm saying, if we wouldn't just react right away, if we just had this little buffer zone, maybe it is a right act to do to stop someone forcibly or not. Does this make any sense to you?
Of course. What you're saying is a very, very solid truth, in the sense that we each must find our own way. Only we know what we need to do.
Exactly.
No one can tell us, If we listen to someone else who tells us what to do, then we're following life through their experiences and not our own. And regardless of what we do, it'll always be the wrong thing. So, yes, we have to follow our hearts.
Right, because, I sometimes I understand Art saying, I just want to knock someone in the nose. And I obviously we have all had that feeling, but sometimes that's not the right action. But then again, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Their force is needed.
Yeah, as long as we embrace the situation and look at it and accept it as being real, and then we can find our own way through the muddle and the mire.
Thank you. You've answered my. And let me ask you just one more question. You said you've spoken to aliens or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you seen anything resembling beings dressed in sort of black, like almost like a Catholic priest's outfit?
Boy, have I.
Could you? I've been really. This has been on my mind. Could you explain who those might be, or what your impression of them was?
I don't know who they were because I didn't speak to them, but I did see them. My impression was like.
Please give it to me.
like somebody that has really missed the boat on humanity and has a big rock in their hand. We regard aliens as somebody who can misuse us as human beings, when on the other hand we think nothing of a scientist experimenting on a lab rat or on a cat or on another animal or a plant. And chances are, if and when we ever do reach another planet, and heaven help the life form, if it's perceptibly lower than we are, we'll be just as guilty as doing that. But there are those that come with an understanding and a love that is beyond words to help, and there are those who come with a lot of knowing but not understanding, and they become the scientists and we become the lab rats. So use discretion when you see anything like that. Chances are, if they intend to harm you or manipulate you in any way, you will feel a sudden heaviness in the air around you, like it's almost difficult for you to move.
Yes.
And if you can just get away, it's probably better.
All right. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Speaking Wind. Good morning. Hello there.
Art.
Yes,
Good morning, Art.
Good morning, sir. Where are you?
this morning? I am in Pennsylvania, traveling down these highways this morning.
Oh, you're on the road. Okay.
Oh, I'm on the road. I have a couple things. First of all, I'd like to tell you, thank you for touching my heart this morning, you and Speaking Wind.
Well, thank you.
Over the years, I've learned one thing: to help deal with anger or rage, Art, as you say that you have.
Yes.
First off, you have to learn to love yourself. As this gentleman said earlier, if you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you tell yourself that you love yourself, that's a good way to deal with it, because I've learned that loving myself, the true faults and the true goodness, I'm able to deal with things in a more positive manner. It's like a PMA, positive mental attitude. You can deal with everybody else's negativity as long as you have a positive force yourself. And that it seems that there's so much of the anger in the world as you have, as we have. It is good to be angry, but then get over it, because if you love yourself...
Well, I do. Listen, sir, I do have a live and let live attitude. I really do. Politically, I'm a libertarian. I think what people do is their own business. But when somebody comes and steps in front of me and puts their fist in my nose, I put it back. And I don't know how to stop that feeling. I don't turn the other cheek. I know that's what you're supposed to do, but I don't do that. I'm a very, very, very vengeful person. Listen...
Well, I don't think turn the cheek is the answer either, but what you want to do is save yourself, and in saving yourself, you love yourself.
No, I intellectually, believe me, I do understand what you're saying. Can you hold on?
Sure.
All right, stand by. We'll try and keep you on the line during this break. This is interesting. Someone writes to me, "Hey, Art, I've got a cold too, and I was so desperate that I tried your guest suggestion. The salt water, wash, the menthol behind the ears trick. I felt silly as hell, and I was glad my wife was asleep, but it worked. Almost immediately, my head cleared up. Be sure and consult your shaman before trying this. Signed, Bill. I'm Art Bell, and this is Coast to Coast AM.